Okay, this is, I normally make these videos with a script. I make everything with a script and I don't have one today. So I'm gonna try and get these words out in a way that is coherent enough to make sense.
They are going to be fighting Deirdre's last.
Divulge a little bit of where my head is at and what's going on with Break magazine and me, really. I think the current situation with
coronavirus,
social distancing
policy was
coronavirus, as I say,
was arriving, there's no doubt in that.
Invisible enemy.
With coronavirus in the UK.
I've got this weird balance going on where the last few months have been both introspective and stressful, and I think ultimately probably quite life-changing. And I sit here now, I think, at the other end of a really difficult 6-month period with some clarity on what I want to do with my life and what Break magazine should be. And I find myself firstly incredibly grateful for some of the experiences that my career has given me. You know, as a 16-year-old as well, when I started taking photos, I did it purely because I bloody love taking photos of dirt bikes. I love taking photos, but more importantly, I love taking photos of dirt bikes. My whole life, my teenage years, I was obsessed with dirt bikes. I loved them. And I found a way to embrace a really creative spark that I had inside me, something that I love to capture and make beautiful images of a sport that I utterly adored. When I look back, I've got these incredible memories that I don't think I ever appreciated, but when I started taking photos to ending up in far-flung parts of Asia, from teaching in Thailand to riding a rally in the northwestern part of China, or riding a motorcycle into one of the most remote, high-altitude deserts in the world in Nepal and making videos about it.
That is totally worth it. Just look at it, look at that.
All the way to being on the start line of Dakar, and all of that has happened because of this career that I have embarked upon of taking photos and writing about things and ultimately making videos and starting this channel to make videos about adventure bikes, something that I deeply fell in love with. I love riding motorcycles and I love traveling. And as COVID kind of started to rip that away financially, some other things became really apparent. The things that I wanted to do with myself on a daily basis and the things that I found pure joy in floated back to the surface. And in the last few years, I've had this quite strong desire to turn Break magazine into something that was full-time, to chase that dream of being a YouTuber or magazine that makes videos for a living on YouTube. And I'd say 7 months ago, I was really close. And today, it feels really far away again. Whenever I was riding adventure bikes, it was always to make a video, because the video had to be made and it had to be a review and it had to get good numbers because I was chasing this goal. And honestly, that kind of ruined it. It took away from all those incredible moments and stopped them being as incredible as they could be because I was trying too hard to make something that was gonna get good views. And honestly, that's a little bit sad. Now, when I'm at this point now, COVID has kind of pulled the rug from underneath any concept of advertising, especially with a channel of my size. Like, the companies that we work with, Revit and Bridgestone and other companies like that were really keen to advertise on videos they just don't have any budget left. And so because of that, I'm now in a position where I think Break magazine has to change. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I want to do the last few weeks and how I want to go about doing this in a forward motion. I think fundamentally, I'm still gonna make YouTube videos because actually I do love making videos. I really enjoy it. I love sitting there at the end of an edit and knowing that you made something that you're proud of, that's enjoyable to watch, that was enjoyable to make, is beautiful and has some real artistic flair into it. I love those things. I love creating, I love riding motorbikes, I love trying to get better at telling that story, but I don't want to do it for the sake of a view. I don't really care about the views anymore. And what I do care about is riding because it's fun. Like, it should always be fun. It's a hobby, it's a nice thing, and you shouldn't suck the joy out of it. So ultimately, I'm still gonna make YouTube videos, but I'm gonna put a split into what I do and how I diverge my energy and what I think it should be. Now, a big part of this is that for you, my Patreon subscribers, I wanna say thank you. You have been incredible in a time when the whole world is struggling and finances are down. A bunch of you turned up for a podcast that I started because I fancied interviewing some people. One of the things I also love doing, and I don't know how many of you know this, but one of my side jobs is I teach for my parents' company, Off-Road Skills. They teach people to ride adventure bikes off-road, and I teach there, and I love it. I love teaching people, I love helping people grow on their journey, and that's why I started the Mini Tip Mondays. A little bit because I thought the views would be good, and a little bit because I like making how-to videos. So those two things are gonna stay. The Patreon will change a little bit, I think. I'm gonna shuffle things around so that the how-tos and the Mini Tip Mondays will be part of Patreon. They'll run in seasons of 10 episodes with a couple of weeks in between each season, and they will form the fundamental base on the kind of tier where people help out because they want to help out. You help me make videos, and it's the least I can do is just let you see them first. I kind of want to take this approach where the views that happen on the other end don't matter. If it turns into a full-time thing, great, and if not, I'll figure the rest of it out. I'm still gonna make more complicated videos as well, ones that are not necessarily bike reviews, but things like retro versus modern. That started out as a, I think this will get good views video, and what it turned into was a couple of days riding old bikes with a smile on your face. I want to make more project bikes. I want to take bikes and turn them into other things for the sake of it. And I want to make more travel films because travel films are really one of the biggest reasons that I started Break Magazine in the first place. It gave me an opportunity to go to places I wouldn't get to go to otherwise. And if I can do 1 or 2 of those a year, that would be incredible. And so I think, yeah, there you have it. Thank you again for being Patreon subscribers and being there to listen to my waffle. We'll see you in the next video, I suppose.